Hi, I'm Renee Chanel Fatah, coming to you live from the campus of Springside Chestnut Hill Academy with Springside Chestnut Hill Academy Head of School, Dr. Steve Drugan. Steve, you have been here for a little more than a year now, and during the course of the year, you have really focused on bringing clarity to the school's mission statement. Why is that so important?
Hi Renee, and hi everyone out there, especially the SCH family. I hope you're having a wonderful summer. So back to your question. If you remember last year when I arrived, Renee, it was really important for me to get to know as many people as possible. So I scheduled one-on-one meetings with all my colleagues, all the board members, tens and scores of students, multiple alumni, and started to hear what was special to them about the school. What were their best memories, what were their dreams, and what were their concerns. And through all those conversations, I heard the same themes over and over again, but nowhere did we really have them codified. We didn't have a clear mission. We didn't really have the values everyone spoke about. We didn't have them documented anywhere. So I went to the board and asked permission to put us on the road to clarity.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about that process. Because, you know, when you think about a mission statement, at least for me, I sort of envision this group of people.
Your eyes roll back in your head.
Exactly, and it's a small insular group, and they play around with pretty words that in the end may or may not reflect the institution. That clearly was not this process. So walk us through how this evolved.
I've had the great pleasure working in some very large, complex schools around the world. And we learned quickly that if a small group of people write a mission and it goes on the wall, it will probably remain just words on the wall. So what we wanted to do was to get as much buy-in and input as possible from the multiple stakeholders. I mean, this school is over 150 years old. And as we all know, there's a lot of passion about Springside School, Chestnut Hill Academy, and SCH. And so we designed a process to get parent input, faculty input, student input, and board input over a 6-month period, culminating in the Clarity Summit last February, when we spent over a long day on this campus, coming up with the words that would then become the mission and values to guide the school.
Okay, you talked about the words. You know, we've already gone over why it was important and sort of how it came about. And in the process, I guess I've buried the lead a little bit, because as you said, the words, what exactly is this mission statement? Sort of break it down for us. Walk us through it.
Sure. You know, I am not a believer that everyone needs to memorize the mission statement of the organization. People memorize taglines. But what was important is that we captured what was the core of the school. And the core of the school came out through this process. And I think we start at the end. Really essential component is that when students leave here, they're going to go out to affect positive change in the world. So everything we do here, yes, we're going to have incredible academics. Yes, we're going to make sure we're growing people with strong social skills. They take care of each other so that when they leave, they do good things. And then if you go back to the beginning, you have the word inclusive community. If you talk to anyone that's part of this school, or even people that are part of our other schools in the area, they're like, oh, SCH, CHA, Springside, those are schools that have had strong community. It was a village school that now has 96 zip codes. And so being a community that focuses on students through their curiosity, making sure that they're academically prepared so that when they leave, they can make positive change. And then down here at the bottom is the foundation of the values. And Renee, you were part of this process. You know how we went back through all this, but we feel that every student that comes through here will be resilient. You know, from our work in the woods, to our work on robotics, to studying English, we will develop resilience. We'll have courage to make a difference. We'll have the integrity to do the right thing, and we'll do it thoughtfully. As the world speeds up, wouldn't it be nice if our students were able to slow down?
Okay, I'm going to interrupt and I'm going to push back a little bit. You and I, just this week, have sent kids off to college. So we know very well.
Isn't it a great thing?
Well, let me talk to your wife about that. I'm struggling with it. But we know how competitive that process has been and the focus on GPA and test scores. What part of this mission statement acknowledges that part of the educational process, which, for good or bad, whether you like it or not, is sort of how the game's played?
The way we get students to be there to expand their full academic potential is by knowing them. In a unique educational environment, we have a very unique school. We have single gender K through 8 and then co-ed high school with small class sizes. So that your two daughters are very different.
Very.
And their teachers know they're different, so they know which levers to push. They know when they need a shoulder to cry on. They know when they need a little encouragement to achieve their full academic and personal potential. No one knows what your SAT score is going to be, but your teachers know what makes you tick. And in this school, in our environment, they're going to make sure you reach your potential. Not compared to somebody else, but your true personal potential, which will then hopefully make sure they end up at a good match when their parents send them off like we just did.
Comes full circle. You talk about this statement. You have just finished your first year here, so you know how busy the next 6 weeks are. How are you going to roll out this statement? What can students expect to see so that it doesn't get sort of lost in all the other great things that take place at SCH in the first month to 6 weeks?
Yesterday, Renee, we rolled this out to our entire faculty and staff. So over 230 faculty and staff had the first engagement with this yesterday morning. And then in the afternoon, I had a follow-up meeting with the division heads and department chairs. And I told them we will go slow to go fast. Because students are very astute. And if they see this major rollout of words that they don't know what they mean yet, they'll be very cynical. So over the next 6 months, we'll be intentionally pulling out parts of the mission through faculty meetings and advisory and say, if this mission is happening, to make sure this mission is happening, what are we doing? And then in terms of the values, October, November, January, February, March, we'll take one value a month to develop the common terminology and common understanding on this campus. For the first year, it's about making sure we own this and that they are more than words on the wall. And I believe, and I've seen in the past, because we were inclusive in creating it, this isn't a surprise. People know this is coming. And over time, we will not only define these words, we'll have an inventory of what we need to do every day so that when your next daughter graduates, we have done everything possible to make sure she is living this.
So then if I hear you, and I think you've sort of answered this question, in the era that we live in of, data and metrics, measuring how we're succeeding, it sounds like there is a rollout that is going to be able to give you the benchmarks to determine whether this is sinking in.
And there's two pieces to this. There is the rollout and understanding of our values and our mission. And then there's the 2-year plans. So every one of our teams have created 2-year plans
that we just happen to have.
That I did have.
Okay.
That we call our roadmap.
Right.
And each one of those 2-year plans will have a metrics attached to it that I will feed back to the board 4 times a year, and then we'll communicate out to the parent body. So it's about ensuring everything we do guides towards this, and that we hold ourselves accountable and admit when we aren't hitting it the way we should.
Which is how you achieve it ultimately.
Yes.
All right. Okay, going into year 2, what are you most looking forward to?
Well, one of the great joys of this school, and one of the metrics, is that the kids run in here much faster in the morning than they run out in the evening. So I really look forward to next Tuesday morning being in as many front gates as possible and shaking the hands and looking those kids in the eyes, they all do here, and saying, good morning, welcome back. And then enjoying the highs and lows with the students. School's about learning. Our kids fall down, and we're always here to help them out. So I look forward to welcoming them back, and I look forward to watching them learn.
And having watched you over the past year as you engaged with the boys and the girls and the young men and young women, that response does not surprise me, Steve. This has been a great conversation, and I really hope in the weeks and the months ahead we keep it going.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you for giving your time to us. Thank you for helping us share with the SCH world and beyond our new mission and values for the future.
It's exciting.
Thanks, Renee.
Thanks, Steve.